Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year, and welcome to the Online Share Trading Weekly Traders Update, the first of the year. My name is Dinelle, and before I hand over to Warren, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. So if you can, could you please lift your digital hand? All right, perfect. Warren, over to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dana. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the trading year. I hope you all had a good break and have come back refreshed and ready to get going. Unfortunately, we haven't got any new trades this morning. There's quite a few of the shares have kicked off since middle of December, especially on the resources side, and obviously most of them it's a bit late to get in now and just waiting for some retracements to get going. So we're going to start out just looking at the shares that we've been watching for a while now, and starting here with the J200 or the top 40 index. And we can see, from sort of the middle of November through to the middle of December, we saw the Aussie pulling back with quite a decent retracement, and then bouncing off that 51,000 area. No historical support there, anything. That's just where the market decided to turn around. And we've seen a pretty decent run up. And on the short term, we've had the trend change, and long term, that trend is still up. And of course, we're still nicely above the previous highs. So the market looking pretty decent at the moment. And we just saw Friday just pushing into that resistance level around 53,300. I'd like to see it closing above that on the index, and that should just see further price moves up to that 55,000 level. That little red box there is just simply a supply zone. It's just using price action, so it could offer us some resistance. And obviously, if it breaks above that, the market's looking good again. We start up with clicks. Clicks has seen some retracement. The long-term trend is still pretty strong, so just happy to hold on to that for now. Doesn't seem to be anything major happening with the company. It's more along the price action route, and just waiting for the next buy signal on that one to add into the trend. Kumba has continued to run up. That's doing quite nicely. We haven't seen any further entry signals, but certainly Kumba looking pretty decent. And if we go to the longer term, we can see that's where it closed. That's where it hit last week. And it's just that little breakaway gap there, or continuation gap. I'd like to see it breaking above that and be happy to watch it go and hit the next resistance levels. CML still range bound. Nothing to say about that, just holding on to it for now. Between that 60 and the 80 level, Coronation just vibrating around there. Mr. Price, that's continued to move. That's looking pretty decent as well. Nice little consolidation gain, so would like to see a break and close above the 250 level, and that might give us another opportunity to enter into Mr. Price. So 250 is currently my important resistance level on that one. Just put it in there. So break above that, I would consider that a continuation. Capitec, seen a little bit of retracement, but that long-term trend is still strong. And what's basically happening here is giving us another opportunity to enter. If the short-term averages cross down, then up again, we can get in. Or might have to just wait for a resistance break above that 196 level, 1096. So who would have thought a few years ago Capitec's going to hit the 1,000 Rand mark? And it's done that, exceeded it. Now it's just retracing a little bit, giving us another opportunity to look at it. Pioneer still holding on to that trend. I think that was the last trade of last year, and that trend is still pretty decent, and Pioneer is holding on to it. It would be nice to get above that supply zone, and then we've got the next official resistance level there at around 188. So Pioneer looking pretty good at the moment. And then Richmond, I think we would have stopped out. Hopefully you guys stopped out when it broke below support there, or if you were using that trend line. Richmond broken through, so that's basically that trade is complete, and I'm just waiting for the next opportunity, which is a way away. We can have a look at some of the intraday stuff. Something quite interesting is a range So if I want to get a target going forward, let's say a longer term target on the Aussie here, I just take last year's range, so from high to low, and that broke at the beginning of the year. So this is now the daily chart, and between those two black lines, the dotted lines, is the yearly high low. So we've seen that break, we've seen it get above the 127 extension. So the next level is 54,662. So the Aussie looking pretty strong. And obviously, if that level breaks, then we're looking at further highs up at the 200, which would give us the all-time high. So Aussie looking pretty good at the moment. If we go down to the hourly, we can see that the shorter-term trend is still pretty strong on the upside. It's broken above resistance, giving us a continuation. And then we've just got those fib levels giving us future targets. So Aussie looking pretty good on the upside. On the Dow, the same principle. The Dow's just broken all resistance levels and continues to move higher. So those long trades, I know I did exit last year, and I've had to re-enter that, and the Dow just keeps going up. There's not much to say about it, going through resistance all the time, and very difficult to trade on the pullback because there's no pullback. So it's basically just been adding in on breakouts. Dollar Rand, the dollar's weakened quite a bit over the weekend, and we don't really see it on this chart here. We've seen dollar Rand dropping nicely, so good Rand strength coming through with Ramaphosa winning the ANC election, etc. Just finding a really solid base at that 12 Rand mark. So they're 12.25, and the range would be, let's just move that out the way. So the range, 12.25 to 12.54. A break either side of that, we'll know where to go in future. And it's quite interesting to note that the Aussie was following the dollar Rand for quite some time. That has changed now. It's not following it as closely. So the correlation has separated a bit. And we've seen Rand strength, and we've seen the Aussie running up. Gold, again, we can see the targets for gold. If it just gets above the current resistance at 1356, the next target would be 1414, and that would be a break above major resistance as well. So gold looking good to continue moving higher, and that would maintain pressure, or it might be related to the pressure on the US dollar. So gold, I'd like to see gold breaking above that red resistance level and then heading to the 1414, and then ultimately the 200 mark at 1567. Pound yen weekly chart here, that has crossed, the averages have crossed up, showing some pretty, it's showing a trend change and some pretty decent pound strength. But of course, the weekly chart is really long term. So just be a little bit wary about those long-term trades. If you go down to the daily, we can just see it broke above resistance at 15289 and just couldn't hold on to it. I haven't confirmed that as a false break because it hasn't broken any lows. So we've still got the higher lows, and the pound has a current history of just retracing but not breaking through the lows. And we can see previous low there, it just keeps pushing the lows higher. So I'd like to see it hold above 15365, and then that trend is there's quite a retracement to go through, and you just have to be patient. Dollar yen, there's not much to say here. That's still in a massive range between 114.300 and 108, and it's just vibrating around there. So I haven't put any trades on dollar yen since the last one got stopped out. Then pound dollar, you can see pound dollar looking much nicer than the pound yen, and that would be related to the current dollar weakness. And we've seen pound dollar breaking above the yearly range and heading off towards 141. So next target 1.410, and that trend is pretty solid. The weekly has changed direction, and the daily has been pretty strong all the way through. All the way from the first crossover way back in March last year. Been a difficult trade to hold on to, but is paying off at the moment. We got Brent, that's also breaking highs. Unfortunately, oil price is rising, now at 69.90, and also heading to that 74.841 after the breakout, with an ultimate target of $83 a barrel. So Brent is looking, unfortunately, pretty strong at the moment. We've got dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, the trend changed. 21 broke below 89 over here. So that was the initial trade. So I've been a bit skeptical about it, but of course now with Brent moving higher like that, we should see Canadian dollar strength, which is what's coming through here. So I do expect this to continue lower. Dollar CAD, dollar under pressure, and CAD reacting to the oil prices. In Euro US, that's also broken highs. Next target 125.65 on the dailies. Sorry, this is on the weekly. And we can see the weekly trend change quite a while, middle of last year. If you go down to the daily chart, we can just see it's broken through resistance. So we've got proper price resistance breakout as well as those fib levels, and euro dollar looking pretty strong and good for 125.65 at least, with that ultimate target up at 131 for the year. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, everyone. Trade safely, and we'll chat again next week, Monday.
Thank you, Warren, and thank you everyone for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, Danae. Bye-bye.